Hi everyone, in this amazing plasticity tutorial you will learn how you can create this really cool product here, and you will learn a ton about how to set up curves, how to create clean lofts and patches, and why this product. Because with this product you will learn basically all the fundamentals which will enable you to create this kind of joysticks, handheld products, and you see there are so many beautiful, amazing variations. And with this one, you will basically learn all of the basics. And before we jump in, I just wanted to remind you that right now I have my massive bundle flash sale, minus 55%, only 2 days left. So I am very rarely doing this flash sales. If you want to learn how to really master plasticity and surface modeling with a step-by-step structured approach, then what can I say? You can also go to my website and go here to the point reviews, and I have hundreds and hundreds 5-star reviews of people who enrolled in the course and really transformed their modeling skills. And let me just show you a few examples of amazing results from my students. So if you buy a course from me and you go through that, you're not just learning how to copy what I'm doing, but I teach you like the mindset and how to implement those learnings that I teach in the course to your own projects. So for example, Thomas Ho took my surface modeling course and afterwards he created this beautiful, amazing night concept mask, and it's absolutely beautiful. And you see it's very similar but completely different, and this is exactly what I teach in the course. Or let's take Rob Switch, also an amazing student, and he took also a surface modeling course and some others, and then he encountered the problem. So then I teach always in the course, after the course, that you have to try to create your own projects and implement those learnings in your own things. And then he wanted to try to model this really cool helmet, but he tried it, but he have faced some challenges. So I tried to help him, and I said them, go through your helmet course again and model something very similar to that helmet course, and then some additional resources. And then 1 day later, bam, he says, thank you for your encouragement, and look, he exactly modeled this complex helmet here on his own after taking this course. So this is the power of the techniques that I teach in my courses. You can apply them universally to your own products. So 2 days left, 55%. You can check that out. First link below this video or not. And let's dive into our tutorial here. So I will just delete everything. And also that image link you find in the description. So just load it and press M, bring it to the front and make it opaque, and bring it a little bit here to the background. So, and also click on this lock here. So you are not selecting it in the viewport. And now, guys, that's so amazing. It's so fun what I will show you here. I love the shapes. It's so much fun. So first of all, we only have one perspective. So we have to improvise a little bit, right? But before you start any project, right? And if you're a beginner, literally spend like a minute or so, or better 5, before you start any modeling, right? Because I see a lot of people, they just start to model, but don't know at all in which direction are they going. So when I start something complex modeling, I just look at that image and try to break it down in my mind and try to break it down into the shapes. So what do I mean by that? First of all, and again, you can skip or not. So I know most of the people skipped already, but I don't know. Those people, I don't think that they will really achieve something because they just want to do, but not listen to good advice, right? But I don't care anyway, because still a lot of people of you listening, and this is for who I'm doing that. So you see that we have here on the side this edge here. Okay, so this is already important because now you see that this product is basically split in 2 parts. Okay, so this is the main thing. And then you just see that here we have this round part at the top. So if we would now look at from 90 degrees, it would look, so we have to guess a little bit, but it would look something like that, right? So if we just turn it 90 degrees, right? And if we go back to our main shape, then we also see that we have here, to keep things simple in this tutorial, we will just use a circle, but it's a little bit of a longer circle, but this will work fine. And then, bam, it's connected here, and then it's also connected here, and then we will create a nice patch and stuff, and we will create here a nice surface, right? So even literally when I practice and do something complex, I just draw that in my mind. But for you as a beginner, you can use this Epic Pen program. You can just download and just do exactly the same. It will help you so much more. And I know people just want to model without doing some preparation, some thinking. But yeah. All right, so now we can just execute. So first of all, we create a control point curve, and we just go from this point and just follow this beautiful edge here. Something like that. Doesn't matter how you create the points. Let me hide this grid, because now you can adjust those points here one by one. And that looks beautiful, right? So here we have the curve. And yeah, I'm just rushing a little bit here in this quick tutorial, but you just spent a little bit more time and love with that. Cool, so now we have a one-dimensional curve. It looks a little bit lost, right? Now, cheat code. What we have to create now, this circular shape, right? We have to bring in some volume. So for that, we can use an amazing technique. So it's hard to explain in this example, so just follow and it will make so much more sense. So go to the left view. So you look at this curve from this direction, and again, control point curve, and just here, go snap to the first point and just drag that out on the binormal. Because, just do it. I will explain to you in a second why. And create another point somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere here, and go again to the endpoint. And before you snap to that, press Shift, because now you have a purple construction line, and now you can snap to this point. So this point here, so this one is exactly the height as this one. And now you can just snap the last one to here, press right click, and you have this shape here. And I will explain to you in a second why we are doing this. And now it looks really weird, right? But we will project those curves onto each other in a second. But before we do that, we have to find out how thick is our product here. Okay? And we could guess, right? So what I just did here, or we can guess it even better by, we know that this area here is a circle, right? Most probably. So that just means for us, we can create a circle, but take a 2-point circle, the second one, because now you can just snap from here to here. And if you press V, you can change the direction. So press V, bam, and create it here, right? So if you go now we know that this circle is our thickness, but we have to think a little bit further. And this comes just with practice. So you can see that here we have this circle and here we have this curve that we've just created, right? But between the distance of this curve and this circle here, so this area is a little bit thicker, right? Because if I just delete everything, we see that here where we have this rounding, it goes a little bit narrower to this circle. So we can again just apply this now to our curve. So go to the left view, press 1, and now we can just adjust those points a little bit. And remember, this first point and this last point, it has to be tangent. So because again, as most of the time when we do product design, we just work with 1/2 because we will just mirror that over. But to mirror it over and to have smoothness on the middle edge, we need at this point tangency, so GZ1. So that means that those points have to be on the same plane, right? Because if we just mirror that, then our blue curve will go like that. But then we have here G1 tangency, because we have like 1 point, a second point, and the third point, and like kind of in school back then, right? We can just connect them with a straight line. But again, you will see in a second what that exactly means. But back to our thickness. So now just select this point and bring this point again only on the y-axis. It has to be straight. And now we can just play a little bit around and just adjust it. Right, so also here again, and here, because if we just have one, one reference image, we have to guess a little bit, and that's fine. And if that doesn't work and the proportions are off a little bit later, no problem. Then we just have to come back a few steps and just adjust it. But I think this is fine here for me, right? And it also looks like here at the top, it's just a little bit bigger. So again, we just adjust it. And again, there is no wrong or right if we are practicing and working just with one reference image. But yeah, just for the tutorial, this is more than enough. And perfect. And now we have two curves, right? So from the left view, we know how that shape looks from the left view. And we know, because of this curve, where this edge should be, right? So what now? Now we can just combine those curves and project them onto each other and create a third curve, which will be exactly the shape that we need. Very simple. Just select both of those curves, press F, and search for project curve. So project curve onto the other curve. Bam. And you see, this is our new curve. And it looks beautiful. So select those helping curves here and just hide them for now. And you see now we have a new curve which looks from the front view exactly as we want it. But if we go to the left view, it looks also exactly as we want. Right? So if we now Alt X and bring to the other side, you see we have kind of our shape. But of course we're missing the whole volume. But now, as I said, right in the beginning, before we deconstructed this product, now what we want to do is, now we just want to follow this upper shape, and then we will create our first surface. So again, just control point curve and just snap to this point. And again, just create first a few points and then press 1 and just adjust and just literally follow this shape on the image here. Perfect. So now we have those two curves, and now we have to create a nice surface. For that, because here on this middle point, the surface has to be smooth. So we can't just select those two curves and just loft them. I mean, you can do that, but then you see it will not be smooth. So exactly for that, if you have a curve in the middle here, you have to select it, press E and extrude this a little bit. We need this supporting surface. And now, very important, hide this curve, because now we need this black edge here. And now, if you select this edge and this curve, now you can loft it again. And you see you have G1. So if you press OK and if you delete this surface, and you select the surface and you mirror that with Alt X to the other side, right click. Now you see we have a nice, beautiful, smooth face. But here at the bottom, it squeezes a little bit. And here at the top, it looks a little bit weird. So for that little trick, let's go back a few steps before we loft that. Because you see those curves, they are meeting each other. And this in this particular example, it doesn't work so good. So we want to create a surface which goes only in this area. So we want a surface which is here, and then we have here a hole and here, and this we will then patch. You will see we will just get a little bit of a better example as surface. So select this curve, because we can't just loft it and then create here limiting point. So we have to do it a little bit different. Select this curve and go to this front view and press E for extrude. And you see we can't extrude it into the right direction. So press E and press F and just snap somewhere and just drag it out here on the right. And again, select this curve and hide it. And now we have to add two additional edges, or basically even 4. So one edge will be here and one will be here, one will be here and one will be here. Why? Because then we have an edge which stops at this point and at this point, and the same here, an edge which stops at this point and this point. So we can then create a very, very, very clean loft. And then we are left with those holes, which we will fix also in a second. And by the way, guys, like this video takes already, I don't know, like 15 minutes. It's because I just want to explain it and explain it in a such detailed way that everyone can follow along, and that everyone can understand how to break shapes down. Because later when you will practice on your own, this will take you like 5 minutes or so, right? But yeah. So to break the surface, we have to select the surface with 3 and search for the command isoparam. I have it on Control R. So select face, isoparam, and just create here an edge and just do the same here, right? Because now you see our edge stops at this point. And the same for the supporting edge, Control R or isoparam, and create here an edge and somewhere here. And that's perfect, because now, again, we can loft those edges. Bam. We don't want G1 here, because you see we have like a sharp edge, but we want G1 here, and not just that, because if you see from the bottom, we want a little bit more smoothness. So just press D, because with D, and if you drag your mouse, you see, you can just increase a little bit the tension, because this would be too sharp. And here we just want a little bit more rounding. It will just look a little bit better. Perfect. And now we can just close it. And before we close it, you see we have 3 different sheets. So select them all with 4 edge mode, press J. If it's not working, then select again only the sheet. So press J. And now press 2 and bam, bam, and bam. Select those edges, just patch. So search for the patch command and give here G1 and here G1. And again, we don't want G1 here because it doesn't work, but also because we need the sharp edge. And you see we have an absolute beautiful surface here. We don't need any X-NURBs, and like this whole thing, we don't need X-NURBs. And the same here, select, 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 bam, patch it, G1 and G1. And you see we have a very, very, very beautiful surface. It's not perfect, but for this tutorial more than fine. And now we don't want this supporting face here, and Shift X just delete it. And also we don't want those ones here anymore. Bam. And now we have our first high quality surface. And if you select the surface and press Alt X and bring to the other side, right click and Shift E to hide those edges. Look, we have a nice surface. Perfect. So now we have to close all that other stuff. So first of all, we want to do the straight thing first, because again, we have to break it down. But so if we break down our product, right? So this surface is check. But then we have this connection here to our circle. And we have this very long connection, which is fine. But with practice, you will see that you can't just create here a massive patch or so. But what we have here is, you see, this edge here is going straight till this point. And at this point, it goes into the other direction. And then you see you have all of those weird roundings and stuff, which we will set up perfectly so we can create a beautiful, amazing patch. But what we can firstly do, we can first create here just a surface. So we just create this hole here and make it smaller. Because right now it's just too much, so we have to break the product again down into smaller surfaces. It's basically every product, the same approach. Again, let me just show it to you and explain it while we are doing that. So we have our half. And first of all, we can just close here at this top. So again, control point curve and just snap to this point, give it a nice little curve and snap here and just adjust the point, right? So very simple. And again, so we see we have a whole circle, but you see we just want to work on one half. So what I just like to do is go to the right view, create a line and just from top to bottom in the middle. And now select this circle and search for cut curve. So select circle, cut curve with this line, right click, bam. You can delete this half and delete that. So now you see we just have a nice half of a circle. And what I just told you, we just will go to this point first. Again, control point curve and go here to the end and create a few points and just follow that shape till somewhere here, maybe somewhere here. That should work fine. And again, just a few points, spend some time and love to adjust them, but that's fine for me, right? And again, we will just go to the right view and press E and extrude that. Why? Because again, here at the bottom, you see this is in the middle. So we will again mirror that over. So we need tangency and we need an edge instead of a blue curve. So we need the black edge to create tangency, right? So again, we have to do the same. We have to loft this whole edge to this edge. But you see here, it's again too long. So again, we have to select this face and press Ctrl R, isoparam, and add here one more edge. And now we can try to loft that. Loft, but give it here G0. And this result is okay. But I want a little bit more control. Because if you remember, so let me hide this image here. If you remember here, we didn't want to loft that when they are meeting, right? So we broke up this edge. So we do the same here, select this face and Ctrl R or isoparam and just add an extra edge, because why? We have now exactly the same, bam. If we loft it and give it here again G0 because we have sharp edge, and just go to the top view and press D to add a little bit more tension, to give it a little bit more of a rounding, to make it a little bit more aesthetical. Perfect. And again, press 4, join all of those sheets, and again, press 2 and just patch it with G1 and G1, right click, and you see we have a nice bottom here. Again, delete those sheets with Shift X. And we are almost done, guys. And now it's getting very, very interesting, because now the only thing that we are missing is to create another curve which will connect this curve here with this edge. And for those who are a little bit experienced, see already that now we have a closed hole, how I call it. So we have a hole which is surrounded by curves and edges. So we can start then to add some beautiful patches or X-nerves if you have it. And so let's fix this very quickly. And we just want to bridge this curve with this, but we can't do it because this is a curve and this is an edge. So again, what I like to do, just select this half circle, press E again to create the face. Why? Because now we have an edge. But first of all, hide this curve and select this edge and this edge. And now, extremely important command, search for bridge edge. Bam. So we can bridge then those. And if we bring back here our image, so let me first bring back our image again, Shift B, bridge edge. But here you see we don't need tangency, so just click here on G0. Click for both G0s, then easier. And here we need tangency. So you have to see which one it is, but bam, you see, so here we have now tangency, and it's basically following exactly the shape, so you can adjust it a little bit, but that's fine here. So here we have G1, here we don't need anything G1 because this is just our supporting phase. Press OK, and now we have closed everything. And again, because, so it's very important, those curves are in the middle, so we will mirror them. Again, we are not allowed to use curves because let me just show it to you. If we would select all of the edges and curves and patch them, right? Everything looks fine, but we don't have here this control with G0 and G1. But if we select those two curves and select E and extrude them and hide those blue curves and do now the same, if we select here all of our boundary edges and patch it, bam, we have G1, we have G1, we have G1, and here we don't need any G1. And it looks almost correct, but it's not, because if you press OK, I mean, technically it's correct, but from the top view, we have this super weird arc, right? So let's just go a few steps back and just create, because if you check out that reference image, you see this face surface looks very straight from the top, kind of, right? So you will see in a second. So that just means we need a curve which goes from this point to this point, which is straight. And then we can just add this to our patch. So very simple. And you can just create here a line or press Shift A and just go to this edge because we have already a break, and just go here to the middle, right click and do again, select the boundary edges for our beautiful patch and patch, and then G1 again, G1 and G1, everything where it has to be smooth. So G1 is tangency, so smooth surface. And you see from top, it looks wonky. But if we now, while we are in the patch, press Shift click this curve, bam, you see we get much more control into our patch. So very useful. Press OK, delete the curve, delete this face, this face, this face, Shift X. And look guys, isn't that beautiful? Look, this is so beautiful because this is what I told you. You see now, this is our patch. But it wouldn't work if we would try to patch this whole bottom side. So we first had to break this whole bottom piece into this straight piece. And then we have a beautiful, like 5-edged patch, which always works very good. And yeah, now you can just select it and Alt-X and Alt-X and join everything. And here, select this, patch it, and yeah, do a chamfer and all that kind of stuff. Again, I have a 55% sale on my bundles, which go much more in depth with 1,000 tips and tricks and secrets. And I literally show you the best surface modeling techniques in whole plasticity on the whole internet. And also just one more example, also Matthew Froggatt, also a student in our community. So yeah, he bought also almost every course, but after taking this industrial design course, he modeled exactly the same, right? So this is an exactly copy. So to learn those techniques that I show, and then bam. So first of all, the first step is just recreate what I show you in the course step by step. This is what he did on the left, and bam. And then afterwards, I said in all of my courses, take those learnings and apply them to something very similar on your own. So you implement it and it goes into your brain. And bam, he created this Bosch drill. You see, it's very similar, but a little bit different. And look what he created. Also, he then even pushed it even further and created those renders. But again, you can only achieve photorealistic renders when you have an absolute high quality, perfectly detailed 3D model. This is what I teach in my courses. And also Dave Mills, also an amazing student, bought all of my courses, I think. Also, he took this drill and bam, he took this industrial design course, bam, recreated a very similar drill. And so this one, and then he created like this hammer, right? So he pushed it even further. First of all, recreate something very similar to implement that, and then use those techniques in other objects. So yeah, again, I have sold over 1,500 courses. You can check out reviews here. You can also check out my latest 50 reviews. I always update them like every few weeks. Yeah, so all of them are 5 stars. Yeah, it's step by step. I show really high quality modeling, especially surface modeling. And if you're a beginner here, I have the super beginner bundle where I explain all of the tools, all of the key fundamental basic tools. So what you really need in your day by day modeling practice and how you can apply that to like an iPhone, headphone, sci-fi design. So there's literally for everyone something. Just 2 days are left. You can use it and save months or maybe even years of your time and just get in a few hours everything. And yeah, so check that out and see you in the next one. Bye.